that job done. Now, a lot of challenges are related to this. I talk about this. This is a really core concept in how to improve your organization, and even also in waterfalls. So give that some consideration. So assigning work to people causes a lot of problems. One problem is that they tend to go over capacity. We assign it to that go-to person, that specialist, that one person that this is the guy, this is the person that knows how to do this the best. So we're always going to give this work to that person. So what winds up happening is they very quickly go over capacity and they become a huge bottleneck. Everything goes through this person. So everything slows down. The other challenge that causes is that if that's the only person that knows something, then what about if that person wins the lottery and they leave? That's a bad thing too, right? Now you've got huge organizational and significant project risk as well. This one person is now the repository of knowledge for this particular area, and if they leave, you're in trouble, right? That's not a good place to be either. So by forcing work to individuals, we're causing people to go over capacity. We're causing multitasking to happen. We're causing time slicing, where I'm sure you're all familiar with time slicing. You spend 10% on this project, 20% on that project, and it never works. It never works. It causes multitasking all over the place, multiple highest priorities, all bad stuff. So I can promise you, if you switch this around and change it more to a pull system, you are going to be incredibly more productive as a result. Your teams will be more productive and your individuals will as well. And you'll also have some other issues or other value out of this, in that you're going to reduce your organizational risk, reduce your project risk. You're going to start leveling people up where more people than just one person can do this work. So you're going to see all kinds of benefits by just flipping this around. And there is a side effect of this, and we'll talk about it after we describe what a pull system is. So a pull system obviously is the opposite. Instead of assigning work to people, instead what we do is we say, here's the things, here's a queue, here's a list of work that we need to get done. Now, as a team member, it starts to free up. When they free up and they are done working on something, they can go to the queue and pull an item from the queue and start working on it. So the idea is start working on something, pull something from the queue, work on it, and when you're done, go back to the queue and start working on something else. They're self-managing their capacity. This also gives the opportunity where we're not always assigning it to the same person. Maybe someone else can take on this work and they can do the job. Now more people start learning, more people start understanding how to do this work. We've started to eliminate bottlenecks. We've become much more effective. We're reducing multitasking. It's forcing prioritization. People really have to think about what's important and what's not. And so you get dramatic improvements in your productivity.
So there's so many reasons why this is a good idea, why this is a good thing to do, as Roy has described. Let's talk about the impact of bringing Agile into a firm. We cannot just sweep it under the carpet and say, there's really no big deal. No, there is a really, really big deal when you're bringing Agile into a firm. An entire firm will be impacted by an Agile transformation. Agile culture will benefit an organization, though, regardless the practices they follow. As I told you in past PMI research, they showed that companies that are predictive in their delivery, but are agile in their thinking, are more successful. So the culture, the Agile culture, it will benefit an organization because the Agile culture is one of thinking in an Agile fashion. It is one of putting people over processes and tools. And the leadership must accept that the change will affect them for sure. Now, I often say Agile is a what? Who remembers what I say about Agile? Agile is not a process, it's not procedures. What is it?
Mindset.
It's a mindset. Thank you very much. You're a product of the process of the PM-Masterclass. That's how we see Agile. It's a mindset. So for this very quick second, I want to go over a few of the major overarching tenets of the Agile mindset for you. The very first one that I'll talk about is you got to be open to explore, embrace, and apply Agile principles and the mindset itself. You got to be open. When people are closed and they're like, no, only predictive works here, they've missed the boat. They're not going to be Agile in their thinking. The second one is you've got to be obsessed with value-driven delivery, wanting to give value to your customer, right? deliver valuable results by producing high value increments. We're not talking about crummy stuff. We're not talking about just producing something for producing sake. No, it has to be valuable. It has to be good. And it's going to be early and often, right? We want to produce these high value increments so that we can review them. Because sometimes the team might think they got it, but the team didn't get it until they hear the customer say, oh, that it's almost, but it's not quite what I want. And you make a tweak. That's why you're in Agile. You're able to make tweaks, right? And it's based on the stakeholders' priorities, not based on what the team says, well, the requirement said it. No, it's not based on requirements. It's based on the customer's perception, the customer's priorities. And also the stakeholders need to provide that feedback on the increments. Otherwise, we are not being Agile. If the stakeholder says, well, I don't want to make the team mad, so I'm just going to shut up, they're not doing their own piece. We need feedback from the stakeholders, and we're going to take the feedback and we are going to prioritize and improve future increments. Now, in the world of Scrum, we talk about the demo or the sprint review, right? That is where your customer could also give you certain feedback. The big thing about the sprint review is not just showing off stuff. It is sucking in the customer more, getting the customer more sucked into the project commitment-wise, not for your own benefit, it's for their own benefit. So when we engage our stakeholders, we are doing it because we know it's for their own benefit. So we want to engage current and future interested parties by building a trusting environment that aligns their needs and expectations and balances their requests with an understanding of the cost or effort involved. We are going to promote participation. Quick story, I was talking to a PM a few years ago and I said, if things are so bad with your stakeholders, why don't you know that earlier? Why are you discovering this at the end of the project? And this project manager said, oh, well, the boss doesn't want us to survey stakeholders until we get to the end, because if we know what the stakeholders think about us, it might discourage us. And I just shook my head. I'm like, what kind of organization are you in where you prefer to delay stakeholder feedback till the end just so you don't get upset? No. In the world of Agile, we want our constant feedback, constant participation. Promote participation and collaboration throughout the project lifecycle and provide the tools for effective and informed decision-making. Part of the Agile mindset is being obsessed with the team and how the team performs. So we want to create an environment of trust, an environment of learning, collaboration, conflict resolution. We want to have some ground rules that say, okay, Phil, you're new to this team. This is how we roll here. Phil, that word you used, we don't use that word here. Take a look at our team charter, or take a look at our, what is another word for team charter? Who can tell me another word for team charter?
Team agreement.
Agreement.
Thank you, team agreement. Good. What else? Give me another word.
Contract.
Very good. Social contract. What else?
Team charter.
Good. Team charter. Good. And what is the final one? Team begins with the letter C. Team
Contract.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you. I know the answers are out there. Well done. Team contract. So all of those things you folks mentioned, we use those to get the team to its optimum performance, right? Understanding how to resolve conflict, promoting team organization, self-organization, enhancing relationships among team members, and cultivating a culture of high performance. In the world of Agile, this is a really big one. Like when we talk about the Agile mindset, people who have a fixed mindset, they don't want to explore adaptive planning. They're like, no, we're just going to be exactly as we said. That's not being Agile. Being Agile is producing a plan, but you're maintaining an evolving plan. It's going to evolve. Things are going to move around. Things are going to change, right? From initiating all the way to closing.